just made a little change over here on descent, a one-click change, and just wanted to see what that does, and what's doing what in the world of sound. Y'all take care of 73s. MotormouthMaul working the ball, peen, hammer, gonna give the West Side a little bit of time to spike the mic and do what they gonna do. Well, I gotta get out of here and take a trip into town, and I'll be back a little bit later on. Your West Coast under modulated beast. Walked on through, right there, right there. I got down, break.
And the click of the Blue Deal Nation. The click of the Blue Deal Nation. Hey, MotormouthMaul, the click of the Blue Deal Nation is 10-7. We'll be back.
And the click of the Bluegill Nation going 10-7, won't be back. MotormouthMaul stepping breaker changes the second gate. All right, sounds good. 445, please send that. And I'll do one more too. If you got a gate going right now, I'm going to do one more little change. And this is going to be just a reversion of another setting here. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to make one change. I'm going to take this thing from 1 kilohertz back down to 120 kilohertz and drop this from 6.6 down here to 0. And that's where I was between the two settings that I was on the other recording. And then I'll go back up to 6.6 again over here. Back to 6.6 there, and back up into 1K right about here somewhere. And that ought to be back where I was initially. MotormouthMaul cruising, one fat watt at a time, and I got one more change, and that's on the highs, where it's 7.0 on the highs. I can take the highs down here to about 0. There's 0 right there on the highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back up to about a 7.0 right about there. Oh, TF 445, Radio Man, radio station, MotormouthMaul stepping. I appreciate the gates by the way.
Got it, MotorMouth. Stand by.
Tender glass house, you say the 6.6 here is smoother than the 0. A 6.6 here is smoother on the bottom end than the 0 glass house. I heard you, I did. MotormouthMaul cruising, and here we are, right here, right now. 6.6 on the bottom end. The highs are still up at 7, but the base is at 6.6 again. They're big.
No vibration.
Well, that could have been the removal of 6.6. Here, I can take 6.6 back down here and drop it down to 0. It might have been this one that you like better. I don't know. I dropped 6.6 down to 0. And now the 6.6 is back to factory stock of the setting of the plug-in. So maybe this is the one that you thought was a little bit smoother, the break.
Smoother, no vibration, no ripples, and I'm receiving now. You got to think about it. I'm talking about a little cheap radio. Take care, put on your later. I wish you will. Good morning, bro.
Sure, for day. Good morning. Well, I'll tell you what, they got to sound good on all radios, cheap radios too. Ain't no doubt about that. And by the way, the highs are at 7.0. Hey, Switchblade, the highs are at 7.0, and where I normally had the highest before was down here at about 0. So there's the highs down there about 0. And that's what the highs is 0, so it may have lost some of the articulation in the top end. And then if I come back up with the highs at about 7.0, somewhere around here like this right here, it's hard to get to 7.0. There you go. Anyway, there's the 7.0 on the highs. MotormouthMaul cruising. Are you connoisseur? You can receive it, but you can't produce it. And I take your word for it. Ain't no doubt about that. I know you know what you hear in your radio. Radio man Switchblade. I know you know what you're listening to over there as a connoisseur of fine audio. From time to time. Switchblade, Wolf Lake around the glass house. Blessings and good graces around your place. Big Bad John waving at you. 445. I appreciate the video gates. I appreciate you chiming in and looking in here. And I wish I could give you a little bit better Spanish lesson, but my Spanish is limited. And ain't no doggone joke. Hello to you one more time. 7-3 MotormouthMaul, your West Coast. Under Modulated Beast, a.k.a. Big Bad John, got down right there. Breaker.
Yeah, mine too. My great kid used to teach me Spanish. My great kid, and she's just in 8th grade. She started teaching me Spanish. Hey, look, that's okay, call me radio man. That's okay, call me radio man. I don't mind being called radio man. Just don't call me 22-9. I'm just...
Hey, you said it's okay to call you radio man. Just don't call you 22-9. Oh, I heard that. I did break.
Copy. I'm running for I know they gonna key up. That's why I'm running for the border, brother.
And you know right. You know he was going to key up, and he keyed up. Ain't no doubt about that. Hey, you know he was going to key up, and he said, keep his clean name out your stinky mouth. Hey, Switchblade, you knew doggone good and well he was going to key up. Ain't no doubt about that. MotormouthMaul cruising. I got down. Breaker.
Yes, I know that. That's why I keyed up. I'm running for the border. Yeah, I know they ain't gonna key up. I'm going later. I'm black out.
410. I'll see you. Take care. Have a real good day. And I'll be back later on. I got to run into town here. And I shall return. I had a guy that was going to come up here and take a look at this boom truck for me. And he was going to, just make a trip up here and then tell me, yay or nay, or, well, he was actually probably just going to get it done. But anyway, was never happened. And he kept postponing it. Tomorrow, next week, I'm out of town. I said, forget it. I'm not going to wait for it. I'm just going to take the whole thing down to a shop. So anyway, that's where I'm headed. I'm going to take this doggone boom truck down to a shop and leave it with somebody who's, that's a business. That's what they do. Well, it's his business, too. He's a traveling repair guy for cranes and boom trucks and man lifts and that kind of thing. That's what he does for a living. And he lives right here in town. But I thought, well, shoot, man, what better to have a guy like that come over here and, maybe knock the job out in a few different side hours or whatever, But anyway, it's been to postpone this, postpone that, time after time. So I'm just going to take it down to a shop to break.
Yeah, copy. Hey, look, I know about the boom truck, but let's never get that bucket truck. I think a year and a half ago.
Oh, that's sort of one of the same. Boom truck, bucket truck. Yeah, I bought one. I got one with this little link in the top cylinder. There's 2 cylinders, and both cylinders are located in the bottom arm. The bottom cylinder raises the lower arm, and then inside the lower arm is the other cylinder that pulls the cable that raises the top arm. And that top cylinder has a leak. It didn't have a leak when I checked it out in Tulare. And everything was all good. And the guy who towed it here, it was a towing company called Prime Towing. And the guy that towed it here, not in any way, shape, or form in relationship to our dear friend Prime Minister, of course. Anyway, the guy that towed it here didn't put the top strap. And I have pictures of it showing up on the back of the tow truck, big, full-size diesel rig type tow truck. And it didn't have the top strap on it. And the top strap keeps the boom from bouncing around. And I've got 5 real abrupt, nasty speed bumps coming in on the road into my place. And over the course of 0.6 of a mile, there were 5 very nasty speed bumps. And I know that guy was towing it. And, when you tow a trailer, you don't pay attention as much to the bouncing around that happens back there. Well, that whole arm was not tied down. It wasn't strapped down with the strap that goes over the top of it. And so when the boom is all the way down, that ram is extended. And so there's leverage hanging out the front of that ram. And when he hit those bumps, that ram went up and down, bounce, 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 and it pounded the seal in the front of that ram. It ovaled it out, and now that damn ram leaks real bad. So anyway, I'm a little bit pissed off at them, but anyway, I'm gonna take it over there to a shop over here in town, and they're gonna pull the cylinder out, reseal it, put it back in again. Then the boom truck will be functional. It's a 52-foot lift, 52-foot platform with a 35-foot reach. One of those old Davies tree trimming trucks. So I got that, and the truck was cheap, but it ain't gonna be cheap by the time the repair work is done. But anyway, it is what it is. I almost bought another one from Doc Adams. As a matter of fact, he got a really nice one for sale, but I would have had to gone up to Washougal, Washington to get it. But by the time it all said and done, I probably would have been better off with his. But anyway, that's the long story short. Was that short? Jeez, a switchblade. Sorry about that.
Hey, Cookie Man, you got a copy on Clarence Carter? How about it, Cookie Man in Beaumont, Texas? Clarence Carter, Evergreen Breaker.
You bought the number papers. I am too, Cuz. I got a long winter station. You got a long winter station. I got something to talk about. You got something to talk about. You need to be keying up. He just sold my friend. He long with it. Yeah, well, I got something to talk about. If you're scared of your people, you gonna kill real fast. You said, tell him this.
Well, right back to you, Macho Man. Hello, Macho Man. I think you're in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 410, exactly right. You know, when you build a station to do communication, well, that's just what it is. It's communication. It's conveying a message and dialogue back and forth, that kind of thing. It ain't a 1-1-1-1-1-1 pop shot kind of a thing, because you know it's going to blow up if you stay on the key too long. Switchblade, we made our stuff to do some talking and walking from time to time. Ain't no doubt about that. All right, I'm going to get out of here and say 7 threes, and always a pleasure with the double measure. Radio station MotormouthMaul, Big Bad John got down, no, a.k.a. Long-Winded John got down right there, breaker.